Hi. Are you ready?
Oh,
Are you ready
it's
for
happening?
episode 53?
I'm ready. I think I am.
Ready. Ready like
Spaghetti.
Freddy.
Mom's spaghetti. Palms are sweaty.
Welcome to the next episode of VGXL. I'm your host, Daniel, aka Games. Joining me again this week is the beautiful Fefer from the channel Fefer. And
Hi.
if you're not already following, definitely hit us with that like, subscribe, and follow at VGXL podcast on Twitter or Video Games Life, X Life everywhere else, as well as Fefer.
At Fefer. On Twitch. Fefer Plays on Twitter. Fefer Plays on Instagram. And Fefer Plays on TikTok.
All right. How you doing, Fefer? How was your week?
It was good. I had a good week.
Are you excited for another episode?
I am excited for another episode.
All right. Yeah, I had fun last week, so I'm excited for this one. It's
Hell yeah.
freaking work has been kicking my butt, so it's like I'm just happy to be here, happy to record, happy to be motivated, you know?
Have some time to actually record.
I know things just don't ever want to work out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So what do we got? So the first thing is, so what have you been up to this week? Any interesting games? Anything fun? Anything amazing?
Amazing. I'm still playing Hollow Knight.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. The only downside is the map is huge. So every time I go on stream, I have to like reacquaint myself with the map.
Right.
And I'll be like, okay, so I have that there. And I have to kind of go all around really quick. And by that time, like an hour's passed, and I'm like, okay, so now we can have some progress in the game.
Yeah.
But then once I get some progress, then it's amazing. It's really cool. The music is great. I've really been enjoying the music, even though there's one part that it gives me Land Before Time feel.
Ooh.
It's a little slight thing. Yeah, I know, it makes me sad actually. But it's really good. The music's really good. The monsters, the enemies they can be difficult. I'm looking forward to see how more difficult it can get. But
right.
We'll see how that goes.
So
I'll be continuing.
So Hollow Knight was one of those games that, like, I said this on a much earlier episode that, you know, I hadn't really played much of it, but I read what interested me about that game and kind of gave me a new perspective on like open-ish games and open world games is being rewarded for your exploration. Do you feel like exploring in this game is like,
yes,
they reward you, they respect your time there?
They do, because there are sometimes I'll just kind of hit a wall and then I see it shake and I'm like, oh, that's a secret room. So I have to hit it a few more times, or like, let's say there's a shaky floor and then you're trying to figure out. I stood there a few minutes there. I'm like, okay, I guess I can't break this floor just yet. So I'm going to have to come back to this.
That's the Metroidvania part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you do have to go and revisit these some of these areas so you can get a little further once you progress.
Right.
I don't want to say too much for anybody who hasn't played it, but it's definitely a great play. You feel the progress once you get to the certain points.
Right.
And it's really fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. Every time you play like a certain genre or game that, you know, that started a while ago, like a Metroidvania, Metroidvania comes from obviously Metroid and Castlevania, where Super Metroid kind of started the whole, like, you're on a map, you're locked out of certain areas until you get the power up that allows you to continue. And then Castlevania took that idea, Symphony of the Night, mind you, on PlayStation 1, took that idea and really expanded on it, made it to what it became today. You know, it took a lot of those ideas and they like perfected it. It's one of the greatest. I mean, that's where it got its name. It's one of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest versions of that type of game. Like Castlevania was amazing, and I highly suggest you play that at some point.
I know.
Like,
I love
do
the original
do
Castlevania,
yourself a
honestly.
favor and play Symphony of the Night. Not only is the gameplay just super fun, like it's like Hollow Knight, running around,
Yeah.
killing shit, you're getting different power ups, and things like that. But the music is some of Konami's best at the time, and the music
Yes.
is fantastic. That is one of the soundtracks that has some of the most fantastic music, and it really has the vibe. Horrible '90s acting, voiceover acting.
I love it.
Great it's the greatest. And yes, you love to see it or hear it because it's good. That's where the die monster, your kind is not welcome here. It's like, what is a man?
I was gonna ask her, what is a man?
Yeah, nothing but a
Oh, yeah.
miserable pile of secrets. And it's just horribly great. And yeah, and the game all around is just fantastic. It's really good. Like, I remember finally like being determined to like get through it, and it was a roller coaster ride because it's just like you do get lost, and things like that. But it's like you said, it's like once you get that item that you're like, oh, I know what this is for. Like, that one cliff
Exactly.
that you've been looking at since the beginning of the game, because it's literally like a broken staircase really
Yes.
early in the game, and the only you have to like turn into a bat to finally go up there, and I'm just like, oh my
Oh.
god,
Spoilers.
like, yeah. Spoilers on a 30-year-old game or 25-year-old game, but yeah, so definitely recommend that at some point since you've been kind of like jumping around with retro and more modern stuff
Yes.
or whatnot. But did you
Yes.
play anything else on your stream this week?
I don't think so. Did I?
No, it was just
No.
Castlevania. I mean, Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
All
it was
3
just
days?
Hollow Knight.
Oh wow! Because when you played something else, I can't remember now.
Yeah, no, I've been kind of gung ho about it. It's been really fun. I've been really into it. I want to get through it, and I'm
Oh, that's what it was. Because you were gonna play that other game and they got removed. It was just for the
yes,
weekend,
that's
right?
what it was. Yeah, I totally missed the time frame to play the demo, since that was for the Going Rogue sale,
Right.
and they dropped the demo for it, so I was not able to play it. OTXO. So if you guys want to look into it and check out the trailer, wishlist it. The developer is super excited to hear anybody really talk about it, and it's their baby. It's their baby.
Right.
So
Right.
why wouldn't you be proud about anybody trying out the baby and trying out the baby and wish listing and stuff like that? So definitely check it out. I might try to hit them up and see if there's any way I can play it anyway.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. That's actually a
Worth a
good idea.
shot.
You should hit him. I mean, shoot your shot, right?
Yeah,
Um.
yeah.
So for me though, I made I don't know if I call it a mistake just yet, but I last Sunday I just got into the mean urge to play like an RPG of some kind, and I was just I was actually looking through the Game Pass, and I'm like, I see they had a Final Fantasy 13 like Lightning Returns, and I was like, wait, I was like, you know what? They had all three Final Fantasy 13 games, and I was like, you know what? I never got into 13 after, because I played it back in what, 06, whatever, 07 when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was like 07, 08 when it came out, because it wasn't like early on in the 360 Xbox, 360 or PS3's life cycle. So, but I did play it, and it was just like a long ass hallway. I didn't really care for the characters at the time, and I just didn't really care for the game. And then and then I don't know, some of the jargon they were using, I couldn't get into it back then. I was probably what 23 around there, 24. So couldn't get into it. So on Sunday I said, you know what, let me throw it on, see what happens. So I actually forgot I owned it on Steam, so I switched to there because Steam Deck. and
Mm-hmm.
and so I got, I actually played through a big chunk of the day. I was just like, you know what? I had a long week that week. I was like, I'm just going to play. I want to play something. So I decided to just get into it. And I was enjoying myself. I was really enjoying myself in that game. Like, I played
Mm-hmm.
like a good like 5 or 6 hours, total throughout the day with breaks in between. And I was enjoying myself. I was like, this game is not too bad. The story I fully understood the story more than I remember understanding it, and I was really appreciating the story. The story was making it, and then the way they jump between characters as you're learning, you jump. There's like it turns out like 6 to 8 characters in total by the time they introduce everybody. So I was like, I was digging it, and then so whatever. I was like, maybe this isn't as bad as I thought it was, until I finally hit 17 hours later, throughout this week. And that game does not change for those first 17, 18 hours, because all it is a hallway. You can't go, there's a minor exploration, so you can look around a corner that the camera's not looking at by default, and you'll find an item, but that's it. That's it. You see the enemies, you fight them. That's it. And it's just like, I didn't realize you could grind. Like, if you save or if you zone in and out of an area, all the enemies come back like an old Nintendo game. Like, they all just come right back because you have to grind. You have to level up. And if you kill everything and they don't come back, then how are you supposed to how are you supposed to level up? So I'm here killing everything, because not realizing that they do respawn. So I'm just killing everything. Every monster I see in an area, I'm just killing them. So that was a big part of my grind, like leveling up. And you do level up pretty easily. Like, you level up very incrementally. So you might get couple of some extra HP, some extra strength, whatever, and you move, whatever. And you have different styles that you have to level up as well. So whatever. But yeah, I have to say that they were not wrong about that game. Like I said, almost 20 hours later, I finally started skipping some fights after 10 hours. I was like, what is like why is nothing else happening? And the thing is, the story's really good. That's literally the only thing that's keeping me there. The only thing that's keeping me there is the fact that the story's really good. I'm enjoying it. I like what's happening. I find it kind of interesting. I'm seeing some of the influence that 14 took from it. Like I said, the whole when someone becomes very emotional, which has been shown in 14 a few times, they get so upset they summon a freaking god, called which is like one of the summons in the Final Fantasy franchise or whatever. And so that happened. Like Saz, the black guy with the afro, he just summoned freaking Broomhilder or whatever. When I played last, yeah, he was upset. They took his son. His son turns into something, and he's all upset, and he finds out the girl's lying to him the whole time, and so he's just like, and freaking summons the thing. If you watch the Final Fantasy 16 trailer, that literally what happens in the trailer. The little boy gets killed in front of him, and then he summons freaking Ifrit or some shit. And it's like, that to me is one of the most interesting things where emotion really, like, come on, imagine being so upset, so traumatized, you summon a god by mistake. You know what I mean? Like that has always been
anger and emotion, and it just creates this thing.
Yeah, and then like now you have this freaking god that comes out, and now you have to freaking tame. Well, in 13 you tame them, which is not new to the franchise. That happened starting in 8. In 8 not even only in 8. I think in some of the earlier 2D games you fight the summon before they join you. So, you fight it, and this happens also in 8 is where I really remember it for the first time, and then they kind of kept that idea through some of the other ones. Either way, that game, for as good as the story is, and as much as I enjoyed it, the fact that you literally just running down a hallway. If you don't fight anything, you could probably get to where I am in like a few hours. Like, if you didn't fight anything, just watch cutscenes, and 17 hours later, if you fought absolutely no monsters, it probably would only take you like 4 or 5 hours to get to where I'm at. That's because I kept fighting everything for like the first 10 hours. So I'm sure the first 10 hours probably could have been cut, at least by a third, because you have to level up at least a little bit, or else things become impossible, I'm sure. So, so right now I'm like running over certain fights. I'm just running around them. The fighting is, people said the fighting was one of the more interesting. It's like the best active time battle in any Final Fantasy, and it's okay. I have some complaints, which I'm not going to really go over right now. I've already been talking too long about this damn game, but I am determined to finish it, because I've always heard that 2 is really good. Like, the fighting got really better. The world design was much better. So 2 apparently, 13.2 is apparently like the real 13. Like, that game really like picks up, and even though I read the story, it's just okay, but like the gameplay aspect was really good. So and then Lightning Returns, was I bought that on PS3 because I played the demo and it was really cool. Like, this is really awesome. It was open world. It was more hack and slash, and I really liked what they did. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy this. But then the story is so out there. I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, they're not even gonna try to explain what happened. Like they're just
Oh
like, oh,
no.
you've come back from heaven and God sent you. I'm like, what? I was
What
so
are you
yeah.
talking about?
I was so lost. I never played it. So I'm like, you know what? I want to finally play. So this is part of my backlog. So I want to try to finally play that. But yeah, so far, story wise, I'm thoroughly enjoying the story. Gameplay wise, it needs to. I think I'm at the part. Like, if you've played Final Fantasy VII, you know the first 3 hours you're in Midgar. That's the first 20 hours of 13. It's just being stuck in a bunch of areas. Like, the areas changing, not just like in one city, but you are just in a bunch of hallways. And I think that's about to change, because from what I read is like towards the end of the game or the second half of the game, then you get more of an open area that's similar to older Final Fantasy games. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted if I
Yes,
continue
keep
this
us
shit or
posted
not.
on that.
When I start streaming again, I want to stream today, Monday, but it got a little late, so I'm gonna try to stream hopefully by this Friday, or at least by the weekend. If I don't stream Friday, I'll stream by the weekend and see if I can't get some of that game on there. But
Okay,
oh yeah, and the
that
last thing,
sounds good.
and without getting into too much detail, I went back to Halo for a little bit. Played Last Spartan Standing, the new game mode, which is like their fake little battle royale. So it's 11.
Mhm.
It's 10, you and plus 10 other players, so it's 11 altogether, I believe. And you have 5 lives, and after each kill's worth 100 points. You level up. So when you get a kill, you can level up to level 2. You get a new gun. And then then it's like it goes from 200 points to then the next level's 300 points. So 2 more kills essentially, or 50 points
Okay.
for what's that called? When you help.
Assist.
Assist, yeah, assist. You get 50, which is nice. So at least if you get an assist, even though it's all free for all, you get 50 points towards your level. So every time you level up, you get a new loadout, a better gun added to your loadout, while the worst guns get removed. And so
That's
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty cool. So by like level 3, you get
Sounds
you
fun.
start with like pistols, then you get moved to machine gun, then you get the semi-automatic or the other automatic machine gun, then you get like the shotgun. I don't know what the top level is, but yeah, until you take away everyone's lives. So it's almost like 50 players on a small map, but it's really 10 with or 55 players, 10 with 5 lives or whatever. That's really what it is. So everyone has to
Okay.
die 5 times to be eliminated from the map. Then that's what happened. Then towards the end, when the game's running long enough, then the ring starts to close on the area. So it is like their little a mini battle
Um,
royale that they whip together. And I have to say, it's fun as shit. Like I was enjoying it. I like
that
gun
sounds
game
cool.
in shooters anyway, like Call of Duty. I like gun game where every time you get a kill, you get a different gun. So you start with a pistol, then you get a kill with the pistol, then you get like a shotgun, and then if you get a kill with that, then you get a machine gun, and it keeps going up, and then so you get like a sniper, and then until the final weapon's like a knife. You have to get your last kill with a knife
Yeah.
in gun game.
And
So
on top of that, the Halo gameplay itself is
oh
just
yeah,
fun.
yeah, it's
So,
addicting as shit. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I have to say like this mode is really like made me enjoy the game again. So yeah, if you have Halo, it's free to play on PC, or if you happen to have some kind of Xbox, it's free to play on Xbox One and in the series. So definitely recommend throwing on some Halo.
I might have to throw on my patches
Yeah,
and give it a shot.
your motion sickness patches, right?
Yep.
You should. You should. I don't because it's free for all. I don't think we can play in a team. But just if you just want to like fuck around and find out,
Yeah.
it's definitely fun.
Exactly.
It's
I
definitely
already
fun.
know, but I already know how bad I play, but it's okay.
It's all right. I think you do since you have at least if you have a few respawns.
Oh, that's true.
It's
That's true.
good though. I don't know. And then it makes like a little noise when you level up, and it's like a little bit addicting. That little like, you know,
The little serotonin boost.
yeah, exactly.
Ding.
'Cause it goes boop, blink, I'm just like, ooh, I leveled up. Yes. But yeah. And speaking of, Steam Deck, as I mentioned before, I finally got my Steam Deck email. I know you've had yours,
Woo!
and there's been one in the house
Woo!
for
Woo, 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 woo. I'm so happy for you. Now stop touching mine.
exactly. But yes, I finally got the email today, September, May 16th, and When we ordered it, what, back in July? Was it June or July that we ordered it? I can't even remember now, but yeah,
That's a good
it
question.
was at least
I don't
10
know.
to 11 months ago we ordered that thing, and yeah, finally, I've ordered mine, and finally it's coming in. So I'll keep you guys posted on that one. And even though it's essentially the same that we already have, it's just this one's the 512 model, so with faster
You get something
storage.
special in your case or something.
Yeah, it's a special case with and you get something on Steam as well. But yeah, but in other news, it's time for the news. And
Woo!
I know the if you haven't already, well, most people probably already know, but Nintendo did their Indie World Showcase, right? And that's Fefer with the indies.
So, I streamed it. I streamed it live. I enjoyed most of it. I have about 7 games here that I really wanted to highlight on them, because I thought they were really fun, or I was already kind of looking forward to them, or I just thought it was really just mentionable. So first there is Silt, which is like underwater limbo. So you got the black and white aesthetic going on, but you're
Oh,
underwater,
like
but
the
then
game
you're
Limbo, not just you're
yeah,
in
yes.
limbo,
Oh,
right?
not those. Yeah. No, not that kind of limbo. Not how low can you go? No. Well, I mean, I guess you are going low, underwater low, and then you're using the underwater animals and fish and whatever you find downstairs, monsters, and you're using whatever. It feels kind of like a limbo, underwater limbo meets Mario Odyssey, because I don't know how it works, how you take control of these animals and monsters and whatever underwater.
Right.
But you take control of them and you are them for some time, however long. So I'm looking forward to that. That is coming to Switch. Then you have Cult of the Lamb from Devolver. That one we've already been keeping an eye on. You're a little lamb, and then you have to kind of build your own cult. You have a debt to repay to the cult, so you have to become a leader and find little people to join your cult and get money for your cult and repay it
It
and
sounds like
so
something
on.
Tom Nook would do.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We are part of that cult. Another one, I want to actually save this one for last here. So Gibbon, Beyond the Trees, you swing like a monkey. You're a monkey. You're a monkey. You're just swinging around. You got the other monkeys there. You can swing. I think that one. It looked like you had a multiplayer. Like 2 people were swinging. It looked
Can you
like.
throw poop?
I don't know.
That'd
I
be awesome.
wonder. This isn't. This isn't. I am Mayo too.
What happened in
Sorry
that?
if anybody's played I Am Mayo 2. There is one section, part of the story, because in I Am Mayo, you're just tapping a jar of mayonnaise. But there was one little portion, I actually have a clip of it, that you have to throw your feces as a monkey.
Ew. That's nasty.
But yeah. But anyway, so I don't know if you throw feces, but I don't really know the premise of it. I don't know what the story is. I just know you swing around and you're a monkey. So I thought I wanted to mention that.
Good enough.
Alec Head is, you know what that reminded me of? What was that game we were just talking about the other day? That Roby or
Cordy.
Cordy, totally off. Cordy. It reminds me of Cordy. So you're a little robot. You're using electricity to solve puzzles, and then you pretty much have to bring light back into the world. And you solve the puzzles. You're a little electrical little thing, and I thought that was really cool. You got some platforming. You got electricity, mostly puzzles, and I thought that was really cute. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was a single person developer who made that game. So I thought that was really cool.
Oh.
That's coming to Switch. Yeah. So definitely keep an eye on that one because that one looked really good. That one looks so well done. Then there is Tabs, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. That is coming to Switch. I've said it before already. I've said it a few times. I'm a bit skeptical on how that's going to run on the Switch.
Yeah, especially that we've seen the boy.
Yeah, if you exactly, if you get this for kids and they are like our son, expect lag. It's gonna break, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. I don't think we should get that for Switch, but um,
I
if
think
you do,
it'll probably run okay. It's just that, like I said, we're used to the boy putting 1,000 troops because it's a battle simulator, so you can put, so he normally, will try to break every game or just max out whatever capability a game can do. So if you can spawn something,
yes,
he tries to spawn 1,000 of those
a
somethings.
thousand on both sides and lets
Exactly.
them fight.
It's like, look,
So
it's running 1 frame per second. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
yes, exactly. Well, like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing it. It's not a game that I'm 100% interested in. Even though I know I wouldn't mind trying that on the PC because it does have Twitch integration. So we might actually try that sometime soon. But moving along, there's Gunbrella. I know you liked the way that game looked, games,
Yes, Gunbrella
because
looked awesome.
it did look awesome. It's a gun. It's an umbrella. It's Gunbrella, and it's a side scroller shooter game, and you're platforming around. It was really cool because you had a gun. It's a Gunbrella, and then you see him flying across the screen on a little zip line. I don't really same thing. You just see a lot of shooting and stuff on there. It looked really good. It had some
Hmm.
really nice pixel art. And last but not least, my favorite announcement was another Crab's Treasure.
Oh
That
yes.
is from the team that made Going Under. It's from Crab. I forgot their name. Aggro Crab.
Hmm.
It's from Aggro Crab. It's essentially Elden Crab or Crab Ring, whatever you want to call it. You're a little crab, you're a little crustacean on the bottom of the sea, and you grab anything as your shell. So you can have a can, you can have a shell, you can have anything, and you're fighting everything underwater. It's so funny. It's amazing. I love it. I cannot wait for that. I absolutely cannot wait.
Hmm. That game looked interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely down to check that out as well.
Yes, 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 yes. That one I'm very excited for. I don't think they made an announcement on the date for that, but I look forward to it.
Hmm.
But that's really my roundabout on what I liked on the Indie World Showcase. We should still be uploading the stream with my reactions on there. I do have it clipped up, um, so you can either go to my Twitch channel or Games will upload it to the YouTube.
The VGXL YouTube, right? Sure.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Um.
yes.
Yeah. So that was the better news this week. I figure we get that out of the way because everything else is just like super negativity. Nah, not really, but some sad news. Um, so it's like, well, first of all, Xbox had this crazy outage last week, which kind of like highlighted how DRM is bad, and if you didn't have your Xbox set to a home Xbox or your primary essentially system, because if you own multiple consoles nowadays, you can share games between systems. So like we do that with Switch. It saves tons of
Mhm.
money. So it's like if I buy a game digitally on a console, they understand that people have families and other people are going to want to play that game.
Mhm.
So you're allowed to play. Anyone signed into your console as your primary is allowed to play your library. So, which is great. But if you have a second console, let's say we started this with the PlayStation 4. So if I buy a game and Fefer wants to play the game, if she's on my primary, she can play it, which means typically the PlayStation in the room or whatever, wherever she normally plays, that will be my primary because I can go to any other console in the house or outside the house and play the game without it being because it's my game. So let's say there was an outage and the internet goes down, that's it. I can't play that game, outside of the house because it uses the internet to confirm I own it. So that's what was happening, I think, to a lot of people. That's why it wasn't as widespread. Like that's what as it a lot of people are like, oh, it worked fine for me. Yeah, because if it's your primary Xbox, you probably were fine. It probably confirmed all your purchases.
Exactly.
You probably didn't have many issues. but so many people like could not play games they purchased. They couldn't play Game Pass. They couldn't do anything, and that sucks for a whole, especially on the weekend. That sucks. And then to top it off, after that, then we get the biggest drop, news drop, which is Starfield, the most anticipated game for coming out for Microsoft, has been delayed till 2023, and that's a big slap in the face because it was that and the game Redfall both got delayed. If you're not aware, the people who do the game Fallout, they make they were gonna make a new space game, and that was going to be like a Fallout in space or a Skyrim in space. It's just a giant RPG in space apparently, and people have been looking forward to that for years now. And they had a release date 11/11/22. They had a nice solid release date for the holiday, and that shit got pushed out. And the thing is that apparently Spencer was over there this past week. He was at Bethesda. He went and visited, and I guess they probably had an emergency meeting. I'm assuming probably so. And they were like, "Look, like I know you guys want, but it's gonna be buggy. Like that's all I could think about." Or this is my own interpretation or conspiracy theory here, is that they saw Elden Ring and what that shit did, and the amount of how it became like a mainstream game, a niche series in Dark Souls that only a small subset of gamers play. I mean, they were always popular, but not like mainstream popular. So
everybody's playing Elden Ring.
Like everybody, like people that I would never expect. You loved Elden Ring. Like the mainstream appeal of Elden Ring, I feel like affected. Like we can't release a game that's supposed to be in the same genre as Elden Ring and it not be at least somewhat better than Elden Ring, or at least as good, or at least as rewarding to explore. So it's like, and then it's a space game, so it's like, I don't know, something tells me, and this is 6 months out, mind you. It's coming out in November. We're only in May. So you're telling me they knew from 6 months that they're not going to be ready in 6 months? It means that something happened. Something happened where they were like, we need this game to be an epic. We need it to be great. We need it to be amazing. And while it might be playable in 6 months, and it might be even polished enough, somebody, is like, are we going to be able to beat Elden Ring, or at least compete with Elden Ring? I have just a small feeling that that's part of it. Just a small, not like they're going to revamp the whole game or whatever. Just anything that probably would have maybe came in a patch or came in an update later might just have to be there day one. Or maybe some extra ideas that, because come on, 6 months out. If it was 3 months away, then it's just bugs. You know what I mean? Oh, we got to push it 3 more months because, but we're 6 months out, which means that at minimum, they're probably pushing it out another 90 days minimum. So that's easily like February or March that game, because they said the beginning of 2023 or the first half of 2023, that could be as late as May. And I don't think it'll be that late, but you tell me you need another 9 months to complete this game. Something's being added, which means 3 months of adding new shit and 6 months of bug testing, like something, like I feel like they always need at least 6 months or 3 months to bug test.
Exactly. Maybe Phil Spencer came in and he's like, okay, it has this, it has this, it has this. Does it have this? And they're like, huh?
Well, yeah.
Okay, we need this.
I know he's a little bit of a game designer, but I feel like it's more like he had a meeting with the managers and it's like, can we compete, with what's coming out? And then you also got God of War Ragnarok coming out.
Oh, yes.
And which is still on the looking like it might be delayed, but again, this game needs to run perfect, which Bethesda has a bad track record of games running good on day one. They have a horrible track record, so it needs to run well, and it needs to have the content. And that's why I'm saying, like, when you see something like Elden Ring have such a mass appeal from just exploration, that's all it was. That's the main appeal of Elden Ring. There's barely a story.
Absolutely.
There's barely any talking. There's barely any NPCs to interact with. There's no towns. It's
also cryptic and everything.
Yeah, there's no giant set pieces. Give me a second. There's or whatnot. There's none of that. It's just it's fun to fight shit. And it's fun to explore. That's it. That's really the basis of it. It's fun to fight things, and it's fun, and it's highly rewarding to explore. And I feel like maybe that's what those are things that I feel like could be added easily like, hey, let's make more things for people to find. Let's add those few things that maybe again weren't going to be there day one that maybe they can add and say, or it just was running like shit and they're like, look, we can release it like this, but I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be great.
No, it needs to be better.
Like,
Fix it.
what do you need to make this game great? And that's probably what happens. Probably like, what do you need right now to make this game be amazing? And they're like, 6 more months. Like let us do XYZ, and we, I'm like, and that's probably what happened. Like, like it needs to be amazing. This is gonna Starfield is the biggest release for Xbox since Halo, and Halo was, it started off strong and has since fizzled. The same with Forza. Forza was a nice little release, but it's fizzled. So they, I feel like they're just gonna say, you know what, it'll be dry. We took the hit with Halo and we made it out okay. Let's do it with this game and let's make it amazing. And then that means 2023 is gonna be a big year for Microsoft. That's when they'll be back on the map, banger after banger after banger after banger. You know what I mean? I feel like that's where they'll make it up. Yeah, because Game Pass ain't going nowhere. Put it like that. Game Pass ain't going nowhere. Microsoft got plenty of money to last. So even if people cancel their Game Pass subscriptions now, it's not a big deal. When those games start dropping like crazy every other month, guess what? They're gonna have an entire year of anticipated games, whether they're good or not is remains to be seen. But they're gonna have anticipated games being released month after month. I think. So we'll see. Only time will tell. We'll see what happens. But yeah. So which brings me to what else came out this shown this week? Gotham Knights got shown, which is the spiritual successor to the Batman Arkham games. Those games were amazing. They were fun, really really fun. People were really looking forward to. This is going to be a multiplayer beat 'em up. In the same way where you play as all of the Robins who all worked with Bruce Wayne or Batman. And it looked all right. Like it was cool. You're in it's open world. You're in a city, but the fighting was a little bit wonky looking. Like I gotta say, the fighting was. I know you didn't really watch much of the video, but like at first I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool. Like because you see him like fly across like from a building on his little bat wing thing or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and that was cool. But then the fighting, he's like swirling to one side, he hits him one time, then twirls back to the other guy, hits him one time, and then it's like it didn't look like crunchy. Like it was just a bad demo. I don't think it's gonna be a bad game. It was just a bad. It was a 13-minute video, and it didn't make me say yes. Like I can't wait for this. Like it just. And then the graphics looked, it's gonna be next gen only because they're having fun. I'm like, but it didn't look that crazy. I mean, maybe the open world will look a little more polished, look a little more nice. Maybe they needed to just say forget it to the PS4 and Xbox One, but the for it being a next gen only title, it didn't look that great, and it was running 30 FPS. So it's just like, what are y'all doing?
Oh, it didn't have anything going for it.
Yeah, like the fighting didn't look great. The graphically, mechanically didn't look great. So like, I'm still cautious. I'll still be cautiously optimistic for it because it's still gonna be a beat 'em up, and those games are hard to screw up. So
yeah, no, those are really fun to just kind of dick around.
And it's 2 players. Like the fact that it's gonna be a 2-player game like that, me and you can go and beat shit up, or me and the boy or whatever. That to me is gonna be is what I'm looking forward to. Like so, I'm like, we'll see what happens or whatever. With that, and then just didn't it's a big rumor, but so far as apparently somebody released Silent Hill pictures and what's supposed to be Silent Hill, and so everyone's like kind of freaking out. If you've been listening to the channel, we were kind of like freaking out with what's that called? Abandoned. That everyone thought was going to be Silent Hill, which we haven't heard anything from those guys. Which I'm still convinced. I'm still convinced that Abandoned is Kojima. I'm still convinced. I still think it's a long play, and the whole like Abandoned theme has been going on because he just stopped short, went radio silent. There was a lot of abandonment happening, so I'm still convinced that that's something with Kojima. Maybe not a Silent Hills game, but I still think it's something with him. And so right now there was leaks. Then Konami goes and puts a DMCA notice on it, so they got taken down. And typically companies for bullshit, they don't do these
They pay no
DMCAs for
mind.
bullshit. Yeah, they only
Yeah.
do that for something that they deem is dangerous or not good for their branding or whatever. And yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think that was it. So let's see what happens. But
Another one. Only time will tell.
right, I'm excited. I've been dying for a freaking uh Silent Hill game. So let's see what happens
Oh yeah.
because it's time. But yeah, other than that, Duke Nukem. If you know what Duke Nukem Forever got a original build because a little history on that game. That game was Duke Nukem Forever was supposed to come out like back in like 2002 or whatever. Then it went in development hell and whatever. Finally, Gearbox whipped together something and released Duke Nukem Forever what year did that come out? Finally, like 2010 or 2013. I don't know. I forget when Duke Nukem Forever came out, but it finally came out like years later, and it was just to a lot of people. And so they finally dropped the original build of what was supposed to be Duke Nukem Forever recently. So if you're somebody who was interested into old PC games back in the day, that's you can find it on the internet now, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Like like the Giga leak that happened with Nintendo, where all the like information and there was like all this information that was coming out in the weeks that followed. It's cool to see like little gems like that, little bits of forgotten history that kind of
Yes.
reemerge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I always find that like
Absolutely.
super interesting. But yeah, I think
I
we.
actually have
Uh-huh.
one more thing.
One more thing.
One more thing. So, Puppet Combo, right?
Yes.
You all remember Puppet Combo.
Those are
So
the
they usually do
PS1 horror
the
game guys
yes, exactly.
that look like PS1
So
games.
yes, so they just made an announcement on Saturday morning, about their new game that's releasing in 3 days on the 19th.
What game is that?
And I have to hold on, I have to read it off right before I mess up the name. It's wait, I need to because it's I don't even know what the booty cheek, but the booty creek cheek freak.
Oh yeah. The Booty Creek Cheek Freak, right?
The booty creek cheek freak. So Connor and Greg are looking forward to a getaway, and the booty creek cheek freak is there to mess things all up. So yeah.
Poor
So
Connor and Greg.
they thought they were gonna get away, go maybe for a little cabin or camping getaway for the weekend, and they are going to be running for their lives, protecting them cheeks from the freaks.
Oh my god.
And one of the greatest part of it, I feel, is that the booty creek cheek freak has a butt face. Got booty cheeks for a face.
It's a butt for a face. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
I love stuff like that. It's Puppet Combo. It's like
Butt
they
face.
get me. Butt face. But yeah, I can't wait for it. I might just play it on release. We'll see.
You have to play that.
I have to finish Hollow Knight first, and then I gotta get to that.
Huh.
I don't want to lose momentum.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I feel you because that's why I'm like struggling I put in like an hour or more into Final Fantasy 13 because I'm like, once I lose momentum on that game, that is it. There's no starting over. There's no going back to that shit. I'll just finish watching a YouTube video of the story because it might end up getting to I like I said, I just got up to the part where you get to a city, so it's like I have to see what that's about. Like I'm like ugh, and I didn't play at all today. But yeah, another news I didn't have on the thing here that we forgot to mention is Fall Guys is going free to play on all systems.
Oh, Yeah, that's
So
right.
so if you don't already own the game, it's gonna be free. Highly recommend. If you only play Switch, highly recommend playing getting that on the Switch. It's gonna be cross play and cross progression. So that means that
Yes.
you can play with people on PC, can play with people on PlayStation, and I think it's also on Xbox, right? So Xbox, and you can jump to any of those consoles and your progression will be there. So that's
Wait, so
freaking.
it's gonna come out on Xbox? Because it's not on
Then
Xbox
yeah, I guess when
actually.
it comes out, it's gonna be on Xbox. Yep, I'm looking at it right
Oh,
here. So
cool.
yep, so it's coming out. The long-awaited Nintendo Switch and Xbox versions will come out on the 21st. So
Ah,
both versions are coming out on the
oh,
21st.
snap.
So yeah, so it's gonna be
Get
time.
them
That's gonna be
cheeks wet.
cool because Epic owns it now. So now they can make it free. Hopefully
Yeah.
the microtransactions don't get too crazy. Also, since you've already been part of it, they're gonna have they're giving away a free people who've owned the game. They're giving out some skins if you've already
Oh,
owned the game.
cool.
Yeah, for people who have been playing this whole time, they're gonna give out some retroactive skins. So yeah, be
Cool.
on the lookout for that. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited for that. Um,
That's cool as hell.
what else? Oh yeah, so also Nintendo. If you're a fan of the Switch, so they released this whole like thing saying, oh we're not we're a little bit nervous about going to the next hardware revision because things have happened in the past. Wii U, 3DS initially, with bad pricing. So they're afraid they don't want that. So they're like pretty much saying like, oh, we want to keep the longevity of customers and blah, blah, blah. So pretty much that means whatever comes out, your software will probably transfer over and there won't be that break, where things are locked to one console like they did with the Wii U. So that's
Mm-hmm.
great news for everybody. Like
Oh
now
yeah.
there's not going to be a a freaking Mario Kart 8 Deluxe plus 2, you know what I mean? Like they don't have to re-release it now and double charge you. Now it'll just you can it's probably gonna be fully backward compatible with what or it'll just be like an upgrade, a slight upgrade. It's gonna probably
Mm-hmm.
be something that will have games that won't or cartridges that won't run on the previous Switch, but I have a feeling at first there's gonna be a lot of cross play, like a cross generational stuff, probably for a while. Like you want the better graphics, yeah, fine, you can do that on the Switch Pro Plus Ultimate, or you can just play it on blurry on fucking the regular Switch. But I'm excited for that. I can't wait. That's gonna be nice to be able to keep your library and not worry about that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so that's really cool. Oh, and the other thing I forgot. So they finally announced some of the games that are going to be available for the PlayStation 1, the new PS Plus or whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
they showed a bunch of the PlayStation games there. Let me see. Some of the PS1 games are going to be like Ape Escape, Hot Shots Golf, Jumping Flash, Siphon Filter, which I played back in the day. I'm mad they don't have Tekken 3. I feel like that's such a miss. Tekken 3 should have been there.
All right.
Um, and then they're gonna have some remasters there, like Dark Cloud, Ape Escape 2,
Yes.
Dark Cloud 2, Fantavision, Hot Shots Tennis, Jack 2, Jack 3, Jack X Combat Racing. That's Jack and Daxter. Oh, the original Jack and Daxter. Oh, so they're gonna have Jack and Daxter, Jack 2, and Jack 3. Nice.
Oh, cool.
All right. Siren, Wild Arms 3, Bioshock, Borderlands, Bulletstorm, Kingdoms of Amalur, and Lego Harry Potter Collection. Then a bunch of PS3 games that are going to be streamable. But
Okay.
for the PS4 games, there's some, they have Miles Morales is going to be there. The regular
Oh.
Spider-Man is going to be what's weird is that Spider-Man PS5 is not there, which is weird, but Miles Morales
Hmm.
for PS5 is there. So that's a little bit weird. They're gonna have
Hmm.
Returnal for PS5. That's gonna be there. Tearaway, Shadow of the Colossus, Last of Us remastered. That's pretty good. They have
Oh
a
wow.
lot of great games that are gonna be available, um, you know, to play when that comes out. And Demon
Mm-hmm.
Souls remake for PS5 is also gonna be available. Um,
Oh. Okay.
to play right away. So that's cool. So you got some PS5. Oh, and the other one that people were like surprised about that's not even on Game Pass is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is the latest Assassin's Creed. The PS5 version is going to be available on the service. So I'm like, oh shit.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot
Not
more on the
bad.
list for PS4 games, but I gotta say, it's a pretty strong lineup. If you're a person who hasn't even played much PS4, but you have one, that service is definitely for you. Like if you
Yeah,
have
no,
not
that
played
sounds
much
good.
PS4, now's the time to buy one or get your hands on a PS5 and play all these on backwards compatibility. Because now's the time. This is pretty good list of some top quality games that came out in the last gen and some newer ones as well as some
Mhm.
classics. So that's gonna be awesome. And if you bought those games on the PS3, your purchases will actually carry over into your account, which is I gotta say that's
Nice.
pretty dope. That's
That
pretty
is really
fucking
good.
dope.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing right there. But yeah, so it's crazy. Jeff Grubb said this on Twitter. He's like, it's crazy how like the change of the news cycle just happened so wild. Like it went from Xboxes like killing it with selling stuff, and they were
Yeah.
topping, they were selling their consoles, that is topping the charts for like March and I think April maybe or something like that. And all this, they're killing it. Phil Spencer's doing a great job. To now, it's like everyone's like, "Fuck Phil Spencer, fire and get rid of him." Like they're like tight because two of
People
their
are
biggest games
angry.
just got pushed out.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is. But
The gaming community, it's
yeah, they've been super
crazy.
toxic, like at an all time
Yeah.
high lately, and it's just crazy out there. It's like I feel bad for some of these
Mhm.
journalists, some of these people who have like, because then it's like not only that, but then you have things like Master Chief having sex. It's like, come on, if sorry for the spoiler, but Master Chief has sex in the Halo series, and it's just like, really, do we really need to go there? Do we really need
Slapping them
to?
booty cheeks. He's the
Like,
booty cheek freak.
why is he having sex though? Like, come on. Like, I get going away from, but it's like you're humanizing him way too much when it hasn't been part of his thing ever. So it's like he just wants to kill shit. Just like he could have, like I was telling you off the recording earlier. All he needed to do was take a page out of Mandalorian. I feel like Mandalorian really, gave you that anti-hero,
Yes.
gave you the guy who just was just good at killing, who's getting into situations where he just kind of wants to do the right thing, but just there mostly for himself, and it's not really righteous. Doesn't really show his face
Mhm.
unless he has to, and that's all that Master Chief needed to be. That's it. Have a story revolving around him where he comes and fucks shit up like Mandalorian did. Have him
Mhm.
talk, very little.
Absolutely.
Obviously, he would be talking more than Master Chief in the games, but still, they just needed a very simple story, to have him blowing shit up. And they're getting, I don't know,
They're getting out of hand.
I'm very out of hand
This is why we can't have nice things.
at all ever. Speaking of nice things, what's going on with your OnlyFlans?
Oh.
Mm.
So, I received a text message from someone and it was just flan
Oh
across the
snap!
board. You know who you are if you're listening. So, I will be making some flan
For your OnlyFlans,
for my OnlyFlans.
are you gonna have clothes on?
Yes, I will have clothes on.
Oh. Fine, I guess. Well, yeah, but
I do actually have one last thing to mention. So, I stumbled upon this really cute this indie dev who's been working on this little squirrel rig, and he's just kind of been updating throughout these past few weeks on his progress. So he like in Blender he made this little squirrel, and this little squirrel you have him in a little scene. I actually sent you the link, or I put it in the document there. If you go to the tweet, there is the video. It shows the little squirrel holding a gun, and you see him running around with the gun and shooting and stuff. And and it's so funny. You just see this little squirrel just running around. It's so cute. This developer did such a good job in just animating this squirrel in Unreal Engine. And I did notice in the tweets, that someone's like, "Hey, this looks like something that Devolver would pick up," and Devolver was in those replies. So I don't know. That would be really funny and really awesome if we saw something come up from that.
That's funny. Yeah, I see that. I see this. I'm like, for some reason, I think the game. I think your game might fit very well with games that are published by Devolver, and they're like, "Hello."
Like it's a little squirrel with a freaking, what is that? A little
Yeah,
Uzi,
an
and
Uzi.
he's
Yeah.
just
Oh my god. Yo, my man's really shooting that shit. Yo, that's amazing.
look at how good that squirrel looks. Maybe
Yo,
we can link it in the YouTube video
yeah,
so
Unreal
people can
5
see.
is bonkers.
It's so good, and it doesn't even his creation doesn't even have a name. It's just like it's currently named a pistol emoji, chipmunk emoji. That's it. So yeah, he doesn't know what to really name it. He's just kind of building it up, and he's just having fun with it. But I look forward to the day that it actually releases as something, whatever bigger picture they have in mind, or
Mm-hmm.
if Devolver does kind of swoop in. I mean, I'm with it.
Yeah, he got 67,000 freaking likes on that with 11,000
Yeah.
retweets. Wow.
Yeah. No, it's great. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty interesting, and he's just messing around too. He said, yeah, he's
Yeah.
using Houdini and Blender to mess around with. That's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah, I can't wait. It feels like now with Unreal being explored by all these devs, and you saw this back in like 2013 as well and 14, like all these random
Mhm.
games that were like just being toyed around with when Unreal 4 came out, and
Mhm.
it's we have a lot of games since then. So it's like I can't wait to see what a lot of these games, like a lot of games are finally gonna look next gen with the shadows and the lighting and all that.
Yes.
Like like games are finally gonna start coming into their own. And thing is, it's 2023 is gonna be finally the year where it's gonna be next gen only. Hopefully more consoles will get out there, and I'm hoping
Mhm.
hopefully people get their hands on these things and start enjoying these things, because
Exactly.
once Nintendo's comes out, it's like I don't know, that's gonna be rough. um
Yeah.
Nintendo and Super HD. I'm excited. Yo, that's so cool. If you scroll, do you see the other video where he jumps over spikes and uses the gun to keep his momentum in the air?
Oh no, I didn't see that. I saw the
Yo.
other videos. He goes, grabs a gun, and he's shooting, and he's just kind of flying about the area.
Yeah, he grabs a little
Oh, I
pistol and
see it.
jumps over spikes from March 20th.
Oh,
Yo,
I see it. That's so funny.
that's awesome. All right.
That's great. Using recoil to clear gaps. That's awesome. Such talent. I wish I had so much talent.
Yeah. But I think that's it. That we covered a lot.
We did.
Yeah, like, I want to make it to an hour. We actually pushed through to an hour. Because we covered everything pretty quickly. So, yeah, hopefully, again, trying to be consistent. Thank you for everybody who's been listening, who's been giving me feedback. I appreciate all of you. Yeah. I think that's it from me. Any last words, Fefer?
No, I'm good.
Stop looking at squirrels.
I'm done looking at squirrels. Ready to
Alright.
clap them booty cheeks.
And again, if you made it this far, please follow us at VGXL Podcast or Video Games X Life, and Fefer at Fefer or Fefer Plays. And yeah, thank you everyone, and it's a great way to stay in shape. Have a good night.